Welcome, Madam Secretary.
Thank you.
I have a question for you on the LET, the organization that carried out the attacks on Mumbai. And my terrorism subcommittee recently held a hearing on U.S.-India counterterrorism cooperation. And a recommendation that came out of that hearing was that we condition our assistance to Pakistan on their inclusion of LET, or in terms of their engagement, in terms of their attempt to shut down this organization. It's got a campus that continues to recruit. It's an oddity because it's morphed. You know, originally it was an organization focused on Kashmir. Now it's got global aspirations. We've made arrests here in the United States and so forth. So I was going to ask you, would you consider making that a condition in terms of that scorecard that reportedly we keep with Pakistan?
Well, Congressman, as you referenced in the beginning of your remarks, we have had intensive discussions with our Indian counterparts. On my last trip to India, D&I Director Clapper went with me and had many in-depth conversations. So I do not want to commit at this time to taking such a path, because I think it's important that there be further consideration of all of the implications. Certainly, every time we meet with the Pakistanis, we press them on LET about the continuing failure, in our view, to fulfill all of the requirements necessary for prosecution related to the Mumbai attacks, and we will continue to do so.
Well, one of the concerns I have, if we don't elevate this issue, Madam Secretary, if we don't drive this point home now, it seems to me that some in the ISI, in their assistance to the LET in orchestrating these attacks, are setting in motion the types of policies that could lead to conflict between India and Pakistan. And I almost wonder, you know, when you look at the Mumbai attacks, when you look at the attacks in Delhi, and then you find the connection to ISI or former ISI officials who were involved in the operation, when you look at some of the other operations where you find out ISI was involved in the training, it leads you to question what's the intention from an intelligence perspective of sending in a force, allowing them sanctuary, allowing them to base on your home territory, and then carrying out civilian terrorist attacks on a neighboring country. It would seem to me that the potential for conflict created by this type of tripwire is very, very great. And that is why I think this has to be elevated in terms of the discussion with Pakistan. I think it has to be conditional. It can't be the case where Pakistan says, well, we're helping with any terrorist organization that is targeting the leadership in Pakistan, but we're going to allow ISI agents to assist other terrorist organizations that are targeting neighboring states, or, as Admiral Mullen said, targeting U.S. troops, that they get this kind of cooperation. It has to be broadened to include, in my view, the LET. And I would just ask you, do you think there's a potential for this spinning out of control in terms of the types of attacks that have been carried out on the capital and the major financial centers of India by the LET?
Well, of course, we worry about that very much, and we discuss it in great depth with our Indian counterparts, because it is first and foremost a concern of theirs. It is obviously also concerning to us, but we have designated them. We are, certainly raising their continuing presence and activities on a regular basis. But I think that our policy has to be carefully coordinated with the Indian concerns. As you know, India is trying to improve relations with Pakistan right now, and there are actually some very productive discussions going on.
But perhaps Admiral Mike Millen's words will allow us to carry this conversation on with Pakistan rather than India. I yield back.